What's up? So a buddy of mine was just asked me a really great question, right? He asked me, he's like, does it feel like the closer you get to God, the more temptation or the more you're tempted and the more sinful thoughts you have? And I was like, I thought about that for a second. I was like, a good question. I was like, no, though that does feel like the Christian experience. The closer you get to God, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like things are harder or whatever else. What I actually believe happens, this is me just this is Cody's conjecture, right? Is you actually become more aware of the evil thoughts and the temptations that were already there, right? Before, if you desire to do something and you don't think it's evil or you don't care, it doesn't feel like a temptation. It just feels like you're stepping into something you want to do, right? Or as far as like evil thoughts, it's just like they were always there, but you didn't have anything to discern that those thoughts are evil or a heart to care that they're evil, if that makes sense. But now that you step closer into Christ, as you read his word, as you're being guided by the Holy Spirit, you're starting to be made aware of things that you can now address, right? Where before it just felt like life, just felt like life, right? But now you're like, oh, I wasn't made for that. I wasn't made to think that way. I wasn't made to be tempted by that. I wasn't made to desire that thing. And in the midst of that, God is using what the enemy means for evil for good and glory. He's actually using what the enemy's trying to pull you back into the world as your training ground to be established deeper into him, to live out everything you were made for, okay? So yes, it does seem like things get worse, but really you're just being made more aware, and that awareness allows you to address it so you can actually take every thought captive and be transformed by the renewing of your mind, right? And to put on a new identity, because the old you, as you put off, right, has been crucified with Christ. The old you is no longer you anymore. It's no longer you. Consider that person dead. You are dead to sin, freed from sin, no longer a slave to it. And it's been rendered powerless over you, right? You are now a slave to righteousness. You are a slave to being bound to being declared righteous in the sight of God for the rest of eternity because of what Jesus paid for. We didn't earn it. Nothing, a darn thing we did to earn it. We couldn't earn forgiveness. There ain't no way you're earning righteousness, right? But now you get to believe you've been forgiven and been declared righteous, and from that place you can live righteous, empowered by God, with God, right? To be everything you were made for. Okay? Hope that makes sense. Hope that was helpful. Love you guys. See you in the next video.